Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you are following this channel, then you know that there are three things I talk about most in my videos. One is cloud security, the other is AI security governance, and the third is governance, risk, and compliance. Now, a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn, and they send me the CVs and they say their GRC career is not moving forward. They know everything about ISO, PCI DSS. They've got like half of the frameworks memorized, but they're not getting jobs or they're not getting that promotions, they're not moving upward, right? And that's what I wanted to talk about in today's video, like why you might feel that your GSC career isn't moving forward, right? And I want to talk about an uncomfortable truth that knowing frameworks is no longer like an impressive thing. It's like it slowly these things are going away, right? And I want to talk about what are the mistakes, the three key mistakes that I see people making, which kind of stalls their governance, risk, and compliance careers, and what you can do right away today instead of doing a certification or another workshop. What are the things you can actually do today to move your career forward? So let's get started. First of all is the problem. The real problem that I see in a lot of people right now is that they keep memorizing frameworks. They keep thinking if I memorize PCI DSS or ISO or NIST or something like that, then that will help me like move up in the career. But that's not the case, right? I want to talk to you about a actual thing which happened, which is that I sat on the promotion panel once for a GRC analyst, and she could name every like she could like mentioned it, she could name every control there is in NIST, right, without blinking. It was like very impressive. But what happened was like the panel asked her to walk them through like a scenario where a vendor is like not compliant on encryption, but they don't have any sensitive data, right? What do they do? And honestly, she froze. She knew the control, but she didn't know what to do if the control did not fit in this like particular scenario. And unfortunately, because of that, she didn't get the promotion, and somebody else got it who are able to articulate, right? That knowing, just memorizing the framework is not the solution, right? You have to contextualize and understand GRC frameworks like PCI DSS and ISO. And there was a time people who knew these frameworks end to end, they were in very high demand. But now anybody can Google these frameworks, and most importantly, AI. You can ask any AI tool to map any control framework, summarize the NIST CSF in plain English, or draft a policy from scratch in like seconds, right? So, which means that if you say, I know this framework, I know XYZ framework, it's no longer a differentiator. It's very common knowledge, right? The thing is, you need to understand is how, like, when the control applies and when the control does not apply. So, this is what I want to talk about. This old advantage of memorizing frameworks is going away mostly because of AI. And the new advantage is context and judgment, that you have to understand when a control applies, when a control does not apply. What used to happen before? If you've ever been worked in GRC, like if somebody has a question about a control requirement, they will email you, they will ping you on Slack or Teams, or they will set up a call with you, right? Like, so the answer might come hours or days later because they are depending on this knowledge that you have. Now, they can literally ask an AI assistant about this control requirement, and 9 times out of 10, it will give the correct answer. They might validate it from you, but you really have to understand just how much the game is changing when it comes to just knowledge. You have to understand when it applies, when it does not apply. And I've seen it so many times, where during ISO audits, during SOC 2 audits. So you will have a junior analyst and they will have this massive checklist and they will flag literally everything as a non-compliant finding, right? Because the standard is showing so. But if you have an experienced GRC lead, they will half of these findings, they will remove or they will say these are not applicable. Not because the standard is changed, but because they have that experience, they can articulate and they can have that judgment why that residual risk is acceptable for that environment. Auditors will respect that, and so does leadership. So if you are a checklist auditor, like you will have an issue. If you have judgment and you understand the context of where the framework is applying, then you will go very much forward. So that's the first thing I want you to understand, the judgment. It will trump like your basic book knowledge anytime. And now AI is even taking away that thing. So you have to really focus on understanding the frameworks, understanding when they apply and when they do not apply. The second mistake I've seen quite a lot within GRC people is their resume. And this is where a lot of GRC careers stall. Your resume is usually the first and the only chance to prove that you have the judgment which I described about. And most GRC resumes, they fail at this instantly, because what happens is they list their job description instead of outcomes, instead of like showing what they accomplished. They just mention, this is my job description. You have to understand, nobody hires you to do GRC like I've mentioned here. They hire you to reduce the risk and unblock the business. If your resume is able to show this, you will stand out. So for example, you might like this: I am performing ISO 27001 audit. So the question you should ask is, so what? So what? You should write like this: you are doing the ISO audit and you close 30 plus audit findings and you cut the recertification time by 3 weeks. That is impressive, right? That is something the GRC lead might appreciate. People write, I manage the risk register. Instead of write, you should write, I reprioritize the risk register. So leadership could focus on the 5 risks that mattered, right? Or you wrote security policies. Okay, so what, man? I can have ChatGPT write me a pretty good security policy. You should write, I rewrote 12 policies people follow. Exceptions dropped by 40%. Again, so more and more examples. I coordinated vendor assessments. Okay, so what? You build a tiered review, cut your onboarding time from 6 weeks to 6 days. You ran security awareness training. Okay, so what? Instead, you redesigned the phishing training and click rate dropped from 22% to 4%. So you see how you can, like this simple rewrite, a before, after, and a business consequence. If you answer the question, so what? So outcomes, with outcomes, you can share what actually changed because of what you did. So one is a job description, the other is evidence of what you are actually able to do. So literally, and this is what happens, like two resumes might be there, they did the same thing, but one is able to show the accomplished that, like take an example of this. So do you have two resumes? One guy is saying, I manage third party risk assessment program, and the other one is saying this. Same thing I mentioned, like maintain security policy documentation and listen like this. Who do you think is going to get hired, right? Who is going to get a call back from the employer? This basic thing will have a massive, massive difference in your profile. And the third one, very important, is a portfolio. And a lot of GRC professionals, I see, they don't make a portfolio, right? What happens is they think that having a portfolio is like things for security engineering people. You know, they build software or they build a repo. But unfortunately, what happens is all the hard work you do, it goes away when you leave the job, right? It disappears into an internal SharePoint. And 2 years later, you can't even remember what you did. Now, I'm not saying you take your internal documentation and put it on GitHub. Please don't do that. You're gonna get into trouble. But what you can do is you can have a good sanitized record of your own impact. You know, like a risk register redesign. You can have a redacted version showing how your risk register works. A policy exception case study. You can this vendor tiering model or a risk decision explained. These can be samples. These can be a short case study. It forces you to actually show how you did work instead of scrambling to remember numbers, you know, later on. You can put this on your CV. Just a simple artifact that shows how you think to a risk decision. And literally, you can have build this up over your career. You don't have to create it immediately. I have put in samples earlier. If you've seen this, like actual GRC projects you can make, right? You can take a look at these examples. These are like the GRC projects I talked about earlier. I even put in like AI governance. If you want to talk about, like, if you're more interested in things which pertain to AI governance. So both of these projects are there. You can take a look at that. I'll put the link below. But these are the things you can really put to show like what your knowledge is, right? And moving on, so this is what you can do, right? There are many platforms honestly available which you can use to show your hard work. Now, for example, you make this risk register policy rewrite. Like I showed, you can put it on GitHub. You can put it on LinkedIn, like a simple case study explaining a framework. Hey, this is what PCI DSS is and how I would apply it. You can use things like Substack. Substack is also a very powerful tool which is becoming more and more popular amongst cybersecurity professionals. So all of these things, I'm just giving an example. You can use it. You can, if you like to talk, you can put it on YouTube. Nothing is stopping you. But of course, don't put your confidential information there of your company. Create sanitized versions of explaining frameworks, explaining your knowledge. And that will really set you apart if you have a portfolio. A lot of people miss out on this. They think that a portfolio is not applicable to a GRC job, right? So GitHub is there, LinkedIn is there, Substack is there. All of these are free. You don't have to spend a penny on this. So lastly, going like just summarizing what I talked about, I hope you see the pattern now, right? All of these have the same issue, right? That you're memorizing frameworks, or you're writing like resumes which just list your job description, and you don't have anything to show for your work. You're just demonstrating knowledge instead of showing judgment and impact. So really, instead of focusing on the next certification or the next like expensive framework, start applying frameworks contextually. Always ask, so what, before you do out of control. Rewrite your resume around like outcomes, and start building a portfolio to help people see the impact that you have made in your job, right? So this is like move one, move two, move three. Follow this thing, apply contextually, rewrite the resume, and building the portfolio. A working example, like I said, it beats one more line on your CV. Instead of putting in another certification, try to actually do these sort of things. And apart from that, if you are thinking about where to focusing on, then two things are really taking off within GRC. GRC has always been a very, very valuable and a very exciting field. AI governance is taking off very much right now. Owning AI risk, model oversight, regulatory alignment, GRC engineering, where people are interested in automating tools, automation of GRC controls. So you can build risk tooling within the pipeline itself. Just like you have like software security implemented, you can put GRC controls within the pipeline. I have a complete course on this also on my academy. You don't have to buy it. There's nothing like, it's not mandatory. You can learn GRC engineering by yourself, but it will just to speed up the process. But these are the things I wanted to show you to really like make you understand why a few people's like GRC career might not move forward, and why they feel that this is the reason it's stalling. These are the most common things that I have seen. So I hope this was useful to you. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.